What's up? It's your brother, your cousin, your uncle, your nephew, your friend, but it can't be your son, it's your kinfolk. Will Henry with God's Will Fitness. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check us out and turn on those notifications so you can get the new video updates whenever I drop something new. And like I said, when I'm in the gym, when y'all see this background, I was going to be educating. That's kind of what I want to do right now. That's what I want to talk to y'all about right now. And really, before we get more scientific, before we delve in deep into the technical matters of fitness, I want to just kind of gloss over some of those myths, some of those legends, you know, some of the misconceptions that a lot of people have about fitness or about working out, because sometimes those conversations are uncomfortable because people are thinking it one way, and then when you have to explain to them another way, then they get upset about it. So, I mean, before you meet with me, before you consult with me, I want y'all to get this in y'all minds. And, you know, one thing I want to talk about is spot reduction or spot addition, because you got to think about the temperature of today's society, right? You got to think about everything that's going on, the culture. You know, you got your BBLs, you got your butt lifts, right? You got your lipos, you got your mommy makeovers. You know, and I guess some men have their surgeries too. Maybe some male enhancement, I don't know, but do what you got to do to feel how you want to feel, right? Because at the end of the day, you know, you want to improve as a person. You want to have a better mood. You want to have more confidence. And sometimes whatever it takes to get there in your eyes or in your mind could be necessary. And who could fault somebody for wanting to feel better about themselves? You know, I don't. And, you know, I'm judgmental free. So the way you go about doing it is your business, right? And I'm going to do what I want to do, you know, because that's my business. But when it comes to spot reduction or spot addition, right? So a lot of women or a lot of people that train come to me asking, can they lose weight right here and keep this weight right there, right? Can they lose the weight and keep the curves? Can they burn the fat but keep the fat in the areas that promote their femininity, right? So that's the key. You know, can they lose the fat in the areas and keep the muscles, you know, in the masculine parts of their body? So no, you know, a small waist bit with a big behind, no, you can't necessarily make yourself look like that going through the natural training process. We can't point out one spot in your body and target that spot and make fat drop from that spot and keep everything else right in its same shape. No, you can't spot reduce, right? Nor can you spot add either. Nor can you make one muscle bigger than the other just because you continuously working it. No, sometimes genetics will play a part. So if you got bigger muscles in this area, they're going to grow just because that's what your physique determines genetically. But if this area is small, like if you got small legs and you keep on lifting, yes, can you build them? You know, can you build them from a natural standpoint? Yes, you can build them better. You can build them bigger, but can you actually get them as massive as you want them to? Then that's another conversation to be had. And that's when you kind of cross the line of natural and those growth hormones. So could it be done? Yes, but this is the dark side to how you get that done. And naturally, it's a little bit different of a process. It's a little bit more patient process, more meticulous process. So we can build muscle right in certain areas and lose fat, but we got to understand that it's very complicated in doing so. So when it comes to your diet, when it comes to what you're doing as far as exercising, you're going to have to take notes. You're going to have to make sure that you're staying on a structured program. You're going to have to make sure that you're not falling off, that you're not succumbing to your weaknesses. And I want to get back on spot reduction, right? Because spot reduction is the hot topic for women, right? And in the training industry, you're mostly going to train women. You see most trainers training women because women, they care more about their physical features, right? And they don't have that pride or ego to work with somebody that's more knowledgeable. Most men think they know what they're doing, let their ego get in the way, and then they don't get results because they think they know what they're doing and they got pride, but they was coached in high school and maybe even in college, so they always had instruction. They never really did it on their own till they got grown. And sometimes a more knowledgeable, more expert person could help you elevate to a higher level. So with the women, they want to keep the small waist, right? They want to lose fat in their waist, but they don't want to lose weight anywhere else. But you can't spot reduce. If you lose weight, no telling where that weight loss is going to be distributed. That's why you have to pay attention to your body. That's why you need to know yourself. Because if you know yourself, usually when you gain this amount of weight, this is where that weight goes to. And once you lose this weight, this is the areas where you're going to lose it a lot quicker. See, that's the genetics, right? Because everybody doesn't gain weight in a certain area when they put on pounds. And everybody doesn't lose weight in a certain area when pounds are lost. So it's hard to spot reduce, right? It's hard to lower your body fat percentage and still make sure you got fat in your breast, right? To make sure you still got fat in your butt. If you want your waist to go down, other areas will go down. Now, do we know where those areas are? No, but once you have been in this lifestyle, you will find your body and you'll know once you gain weight, this is the area where you can count on that weight gain first coming from. So it's all about knowing your bodies. Can you spot reduce? No, you just cannot particularly lose in one spot and not lose in the other, right? Because that's the science of it all. The way the weight is lost, it depends on your body. The way the weight is gained, it depends on your body. So the way you need to eat, it should depend on your body. The way you need to exercise, it should depend on your body. Can you lift the butt muscles? Can you lift the glutes? Can you make your chest firmer? Yes, through weightlifting, through resistance training. Yes, you can build muscle in those areas, of course. It depends on the program, it depends on the reps and sets or the weight you're doing. Yes, that does play a factor, but if you want to build on those muscles real quick, then sometimes it just depends on genetics. And then if you want to go another step further, it depends on what you're doing on the other side of things as far as the growth, the hormones, the testosterone. So those things do play a factor, you know, and people don't want to talk about it, but you got to talk about it because it exists. It's in this real world, right? It exists. You know, people need to know that this is in the industry. It's a taboo subject, but let's talk about it and let's be honest, be transparent. I've done the natural route, and I've always done the natural route. But I know some of my contemporaries, some of my counterparts, or some of the people that I worked with or worked alongside, I know they might have done some other things to achieve certain goals, right? Because it was that much important for them, right? Or it made them feel better. For me, I didn't do it playing ball, so I just felt like even in this industry, why would I do it, you know? So for me, it's just thinking about the long-term effects and the fear of what those can have on my body. And to be honest, that's really the main reason why I don't do it. And I feel like I'm going to come home to my wife and tell her I'm doing this and it's just going to be acceptable. I mean, that's my main thing, right? So can you spot reduce? No. right? So that's why the surgeries are important. That's why the surgeries have become more popular now. I mean, it's not just the fact that people are lazy. It's not just the fact that people don't want to work out. It's also the fact that genetics do play a role, and maybe they've done everything they can to get rid of that extra fat on the stomach, but it just didn't go away. That extra skin, they lost a lot of weight in a shorter time frame, so they want to get some of that skin removal. You know, you can't blame them. You can't fault them. Everybody got their own mindset when it comes to training, when it comes to working out, and when it comes to how they want to look. Right? You want to have a high self-esteem. You want to have a high amount of confidence. I just want to let you know that whatever route you go, you got to be comfortable with your decision at the end of the day. Right? And then if you're not comfortable, if you're not satisfied with that decision, if you have to continue to keep making decisions to cover up the mistake that you made, then sometimes you got to take a look at yourself. And I mean, really, that's all we got to get it down to. You know what I'm saying? The accountability factor. You know, so spot addition. I know my fellas want to build muscle. I know you want the six pack. I know you want the 22-inch biceps. But if your genetics does not allow that, no matter what you do, you're not going to be able to gain that. You might want, 30-inch thighs. But if your genetics don't allow that, there's nothing you're going to be able to do to get there. Maybe you could gain a whole bunch of weight, a whole bunch of fat in those areas, and they could increase, but that doesn't mean it will be muscle, and it doesn't mean it will look good. So when you on this journey natural, you got to be patient. If you're on this journey, doing other things, then sometimes you can achieve certain goals, but even then there's still a limitation. Even then there's still a time frame on how long it will take to get there. So we have to be knowledgeable of all these things. Why not talk about these things? People are using these things. People are having these things done. So now we got to ingratiate this into the fitness world. We got to talk about this because this is the reality of things, right? I'm not giving y'all no fairy tales. I'm not giving y'all no fantasies. I know you done seen a chick with an uneven proportion lower body walk in. Big butt, no thighs, and she's lifting, she's working out. I see this all the time at the gym, right? I see a whole bunch of big dudes, big arms, big chest, but they got a big gut too, right? And they want to keep the size right here, but they want to lose the stomach. But you can't spot reduce. You can't not lose weight in your waist and keep everything the same up top or below. That's just not how it works. If you lose weight, you lose weight. And we don't know where that weight is going to come from. We don't know how the weight gain will be distributed. That's why you got to pay attention to your body, and you got to pay attention to how you react to certain things. What does lifting heavy do for you? Make you feel? How does lifting high reps, lower weight, how does that make you feel? So you got to know what program, what structure works for you, right? So we just got to talk about the truth. And I want to talk about the truth a little bit more because I feel like we haven't really been delving into that truth. We haven't really been getting the honesty out of everyone that participates in this industry, right? Fitness, training, health, whatever that is. We haven't been getting the God's honest truth. Word to Charlemagne. So this is God's will fitness.